Up until this point, it's entirely possible that Marjorie Greene was watching like a clip that someone shared her, the clip of us responding to Trump, or later on the clip of us responding to a poll showing that many Trump supporters hold very interesting views on racism in America, specifically saying that they think that racism against white people is a bigger problem than racism against black people. And by the way, Marge, you're gonna eventually get to that. We'll return to that, but she also says, but they complained about summer heat. Too bad they can't understand that the Earth's climate has been changing since God created the Earth. Yeah, we only talked about that during the initial intro to the show. It wasn't in any of the clips. So just to be clear, she was watching the full show. Also, the fact that they can't understand that the Earth's climate has been changing since God created the Earth. First of all, yes, I understand that climate and weather change all of the time. Do you understand that generally it doesn't change on this scale, in this direction, in less than 1 century? Look, this is really where, when I point out her ignorance, so when I talk about her perceived, I think, failings as a Christian, humility is a value of Christianity. If you're Marjorie Greene, how the hell can you think that you, with your complete lack of interest in any of this, she's never done the work, she's never run studies, she's never read books, she's never read papers, she's never talked to climate scientists, that you can take all of the life's work that these people do, the conferences they run, the long-term research, all of that, and you just say, well, it's always changing, and that's even, that balances out. Where is the humility in that? The belief that you've nailed it, that you didn't have to do any work, you didn't have to be creative, you didn't have to challenge yourself. You just were born into this world with an equal level of knowledge about the fate of our climate. A little bit of humility would be my suggestion. Again, I'm an atheist, you don't have to listen to me, but that would be my suggestion. Adrian, sorry, obviously I have a lot to say about this. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's a great suggestion as far as I'm concerned. The thing is that individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're the types where if a cannibal used a fork and knife, they'd call it progress. It's just a complete and total misrepresentation of actual facts. It's a very vapid take because they think that they're scoring points when really they are pandering to individuals, misleading them, especially when it's the voting populace or individuals who rely on their representatives for guidance and for knowledge and truth. And it's so incredibly disingenuous and dangerous, especially now when we talk about things like heat, climate change, we talk about COVID-19, we talk about vaccines, we talk about things that'll impact people's life or death status in this world. And you have individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene just out here saying whatever makes them feel like they can pat themselves on the back. I will say that whole comment about you not addressing the Democrat stuff, but criticizing Republican, conservative, it's clear that she's thinking of this whole politics thing as a team sport.
Definitely.
That you either have to be for one or the other. That ain't how it works. Again, these things we call politics, they impact people's life or death. We can't afford to play teams. It's disingenuous and it's dangerous.
100%. Yeah, and we do defend some Democrat policies. We also viciously criticize other Democrat policies. We even sometimes give credit to Republicans for doing the right thing. Josh Hawley supporting the bill to ban stock trading. We gave him credit for that last week. In that week-long tear of the Supreme Court, mostly doing terrible harm to a lot of different groups, we gave them credit for not supporting the racist voting map of, I believe it was Alabama in that particular case. We give credit where credit is due. Also, when I do it, I almost invariably say there's no reason to do this nuance. No one will ever give you credit for it, but we believe in doing reality-based discussion of the news. I apologize, Marjorie, if that doesn't fit into the slots in your brain, that everything is just supposed to be a partisan game, where like maybe we win a little bit, then you win a little bit, or in a larger sense, we just bicker back and forth. Nothing fundamentally changes, and thus the people who are already winning in the status quo continue to win. I know that you're perfectly comfortable to allow that to happen. You've been sent to Congress by the richest people in the country to allow that to happen. I'm not playing that game. Anyway, she goes on to say, oh, and if you're a white Trump supporter, they claim you are racists and that you need CRT to understand your whiteness and your racism. No, so Francesca did, I think, say that she is demonstrating why CRT could be useful. Again, it's an area of scholarship, academia that Marjorie Greene does not know literally anything about and doesn't have the single shred of curiosity necessary to challenge herself to see if maybe there is something to it. She's just not gonna do that. She's not a curious person. She does not respond to the fact that what we were saying was, again, in polls, Trump supporters, self-identified Republicans, were more likely to consider racism against white people a serious problem than racism against black people in modern America. That is, I can't swear, that's bananas. I'll say it's bananas to keep it PG. If you believe that, there is something fundamentally wrong with you. Believing that does not by itself mean that you're definitely a racist, but it is obviously a symptom of some truly corrosive views about American society, particularly in the area of race. It says a lot. It demands more research. That's what academics do, Marjorie Greene. That wasn't the only survey they're ever gonna do. But it should bother you that people who like you believe those things more than that people like me might criticize those beliefs. Sorry, Adrian, I know that you didn't see that poll, but it seems crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it definitely is reflective of considerable ignorance. And also it's continuing to just, you see this almost whitewashing of truth and fact to continue to prop up those already in power, whether it's systemic racism or any kind of other kind of oppression or bias that's in place in our society. It's a way of keeping people ignorant, a way of keeping those who are contributing to the problem and benefiting from it in a place of woeful ignorance, to the point where they feel that they are the ones being victimized. It's disgusting. And you have individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene really pushing that forward because it allows the status quo to remain the status quo.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, I wanna end, and finally she says, there, I watched it, so you don't have to waste your time. Yeah, but what about the potential time they might waste on today's show or tomorrow's show? It looks like you're gonna have to keep doing your little reviews to make sure that they don't expose themselves to actual information. You seem less worried about what I'm saying than that people might hear what I'm saying, Marjorie Greene. Why does that bother you so much? Anyway, finally though, since it looks like she does watch the show, it looks like indeed that she is a member, because as we said, she referenced things that were only in the full show, and she referenced them like 7 hours after the show was done. You can only watch the show live unless you're a member. It implies that she's a member, which means that, look, I don't necessarily want to do her the great honor of giving her a dragon name, but she's earned it by clearly being a member. So I am gonna need some suggestions for all of you. Whoever comes up with the best dragon name for Marjorie Greene, as long as you qualify otherwise, you might get a Blue Apron gift card. So send those in and we'll read some as we go. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.